and welcome to this episode of Transformational Leadership TV, where we inspire, equip, and challenge leaders just like you to do their part to change the world around them. Now, today, my guest is Laura Fehrenbach, and now she is a district administrator with the Missouri Department of Corrections. Now, if I got this correctly, Laura, help me if I get it wrong, but I think your district includes the cities of Branson, Cassville, and Galena. Is that correct?
Yes, and
Perfect.
many small ones in between.
Yeah, I can imagine there's a lot of rural areas that includes as well. But just hopefully people get a little bit of some context about where you are, the area that you cover in the state of Missouri. Laura is an incredible example of a transformational leader that doesn't just see problems around her, but she's motivated to do something about that. Well, when I first got an email back from her, her tagline said, "This is my dream job." So it caught me by surprise. I wasn't sure. I was not expecting that from the Department of Corrections. But tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, so I've worked for the state of Missouri in probation and parole for 26 years now. And for the past 10, I've been the district administrator, like you said, in this area down in southern Missouri. We work with justice involved individuals who are either on probation or parole, which means they've either just been released from prison and have some of their sentence to complete, or they're given an opportunity to not go to prison by doing some things in the community to just make better life choices.
Great. So tell us a little bit about that tagline. So why is this your dream job?
From the very beginning, even when I was in high school, I always had this idea that these people that were in trouble just wanted better opportunities. They needed a chance. People weren't getting to know them as people, just some of their actions. And so that's why I got into this job. Even back in high school, I wanted to do something similar to this. And as the years progress, I just realized that is exactly what I'm doing. Even today, 26 years later, I'm still loving my job, which is, I think, odd, maybe. I just love it. I'm making positive changes in people's lives every day, even if it's teeny tiny changes.
Yeah, that's amazing because I think that's something that everyone aspires to, is to have a job that they love, and that makes a difference. And how cool is that the ideas that you had even as a teenager, that just that recognition that it's like, wow, this is my dream job. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. So like I said in the beginning, it's that transformational leaders don't just see problems, but they take action to do something about what they see. So can you tell us a little bit about what was happening maybe in your district, maybe in your organization? You're part of the Missouri Department of Corrections. Tell us what was happening that made you want to bring about or start working towards some transformational change.
So our mission at Probation and Parole is just to improve lives for a safer community. So that's what we live and breathe every single day. And that kind of fits into this Transformation Ozarks. However, we have always focused most of our attention and resources on those people who are really high risk and high need. So we haven't gotten to recognize those people who are doing well in the community. And so when I got involved with the Transformation Ozarks, I'm like, this is what we can do for those people who are in the community that are doing well. They're still on supervision, but they have a lot to give back to our community. And I wanted to, get them involved and just make them more invested in our community, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does make sense. It's interesting being able to work with people that are doing well, that are transitioning well and helping that. But tell me a little bit about how you got connected. Tell us a little bit about what you understand about Transformation Ozarks and how you guys got connected and started working together.
I am fortunate to work with the wife of the Branson fire chief, and because of his knowledge of probation and parole, he saw that we probably needed to be involved in the Transformation Ozarks that was happening in our community already. And sometimes probation and parole is just the we're forgotten, I guess, because of the work we do is not glamorous or whatever. So anyway, Ted Martin invited myself and our staff just to be involved in a Transformation Ozarks table. And the first class that we had was about initiative. About 2 paragraphs into the very first value, just this light bulb went off. And I'm like, we have got to do this with our clients. It was just the very first day. I had never even didn't know who John Maxwell was. I didn't know anything about this. And now, and then I got to go to the, when John Maxwell came to Branson, I was fortunate enough to get to go see him. And it just inspired me even further. And I just needed to figure out a way to get it started, because I realized that our clients are working in all of the restaurants and all the entertainment theaters and all that stuff in town. And they are part of the leadership. And sometimes they're forgotten as part of the leadership in our community as well. The managers at the restaurants and that kind of thing. There's just so much that we don't give them credit for, that I really feel like they could, participate and get involved.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And just for context, because we got connected through the Transformation Ozarks project. And I think I was telling you before we started recording today that we did an interview about a year ago with Tyler Long, who is one of the founders of the Transformation Ozarks movement in your area. And so that Transformation Ozarks movement is really about making that whole area between Stone and Taney County, that whole region, just a better place to live and work for everyone. And it's really about the idea of having people unify around good values. And what you're talking about is with that value of initiative is being able to participate in a transformation table, and where everybody, right? Everybody has that opportunity to live values and then take action towards making a difference in their own life and in the community around them. So I love that you got invited to a table from Ted Martin and got to participate in this table. And then because you experienced it, the light bulb started going off in your own head. It sounds like there's this interesting, almost catalytic moment, my words, but just coming.
It truly was.
Yeah, just saying that this is something big that could benefit more than just yourself, right? More than just yourself. So, once you started getting this idea that a lot of your clients, and I also love the fact that when you're working in the probation and parole space, that the people that you work with are called your clients. So I think that makes a difference. What we name things, how we view people, is really determines how we treat them on the other side. And I love that you and your organization just has this view that they're not broken or dysfunctional or whatever name that society might label on them, but they're clients that deserve to be served. So,
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is we have a service to provide to them. And I think that this Transformation Ozarks is part of the service that we can provide, that we don't generally have an opportunity to do. And that's why I really want to get this going.
Yeah, so tell us, like, take us back. So you
Sorry.
participated in this table. No, you're doing great. So you participated in this table. You started getting these ideas for opportunities that your clients could also participate in these tables and take part in Transformation Ozarks. So tell us what happened next. What were some of those initial steps? Because I think it's always a journey, and every time we get an idea, oftentimes, maybe just myself, but I'll get these ideas and I can see what the end looks like, and then sometimes we forget that there's a process in place, and it's like, okay, now
Sure.
step one, here we go. So take us backwards and maybe walk us through a little bit of what that looked like for you.
Okay, so Ted Martin got me in touch with Tyler, and he and I got together probably within a week. He came over to the office and said, "What can I do to help you?" And he just offered anything I needed. And we just kind of just talked through how we could get it going. I had the idea that if I made it completely voluntary, kind of an incentive for those doing well, give clients an opportunity to help other clients. So we kind of came up with this plan that for me to sell it to our clients, because they already have so many things that they have to do while they're on probation or parole, classes and community service and work and all these things. And so we were trying to figure out a way to kind of sell it to people who've never heard of it. And so we kind of developed a message, I guess, to explain what it was. And then some of my staff participated in the transformation table with me. I had their assistance in getting some clients on board. And what we did was I just sent out an email to all of my staff, and I said, "Hey, this is what we're doing. Can you give me 2 or 3 names of people who are doing really well on supervision that may want to influence other people?" And so they gave me 2 or 3 names apiece. There's 18 staff here, so 2 or 3 names apiece. And all I asked them to do was give me a name and a phone number. I didn't want to know what they were on supervision for, anything like that, because it wasn't about that at all. So I got names and phone numbers, and I just sent text messages and emails to these people asking if they told them about the programs, seeing if they wanted to be involved, told them it was strictly voluntary, offered my number to call me if they had questions. I even said, if you have community service to do, I would be happy to give you credit for community service, just to really, take away an obligation so that they would have time to do this. And there was a lot of hesitation at first with clients saying, "Who are you? Like, why are you bothering me?" And especially coming from the district administrator and not the PO, it was just foreign for them to hear from me. But so I just sent out probably 50, 60 text messages, but I did, it was easy because it was just cut and paste, and just threw out a net to see who would be interested, and got my first group. We had, in our business, we overfill a class knowing that people won't show up, and so we invited 15 people the first time. Well, the first time we had 2 classes going at once. So we had 30 people out of 50, which I thought was pretty amazing, that wanted to join us. And it just snowballed from there.
Yeah.
People came, they were like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool." Some people decided that it wasn't what they thought, or they were uncomfortable. Some people can't read, and so the thought of reading out loud, just they were like, oh, I'm out. And so, we had some struggles with that kind of stuff, but I can tell you that most of the people who showed up the first class stayed through the whole thing. They wanted it not to end. Some of them, there's one particular person who has been to every single transformation table that we've had here at the office. He is really facilitating now, even though he's intimidated by the idea of him doing that. He is doing it.
But tell us a little bit about some of the impact that you're seeing, like some of those success stories. What has it meant to the people that have gone through this program?
I think that some of them, I really believe they've gained so much confidence and like leadership development that they didn't even know that it was inside of them. There's a couple people who even want to start their own businesses, and they're like, oh, it didn't even occur to me that they could do that. And it's just their journey. They have pride in completing this program. They are impacted because in the classes, they're being so genuine and raw when they're sharing their values and how they're improving and how they see themselves, that people are coming up to them afterwards and just saying, thank you so much. I really relate to you. And they're like exchanging their phone numbers with each other because they're just wanting to support each other. And just getting that confidence from other people that they don't get in their daily lives, that makes them feel important and know that they can just do whatever they want to do next. I don't even know how to put that into words because it's just profound, I think, to see what's happening to them. Just, I don't even know how to explain.
No, I think that's great.
But
yeah, I think it's beautiful the way that you're describing that there's things that they didn't even know were inside of them that are getting released, and where they get to show up with their best self to the world around them. And even though they've made mistakes, and by the way, who hasn't made mistakes in this world? And sometimes that the consequences of the mistakes can end us up in a situation where we go through the system, like the Department of Corrections in some way, shape, or form. But to look at that and say that does not define who we are. It doesn't define the future of who they are. And to be able to see that impact is just beautiful, where they are seeing themselves differently. And I had no idea. That's so cool that they're starting businesses and all kinds of things. So thank you. That is really that's really beautiful. So I know you told us a little bit about kind of just, okay, we're going to start. There's just a process and lots of emails and communicating and all of that. And then you just kind of jumped in and started, which is great. But and now we're seeing some of these really cool outcomes on the other side. But were there challenges or anything like that along the way? Was there anything that you faced at or ever a time when you're like, oh, this is really hard, or that you wanted to just stop? Or maybe you paused for a while?
I can honestly say that I personally have not had any challenges. It is actually the highlight of my week, and sometimes the only thing that gets me through the week, knowing that it's coming up. But I know that like the other participants, they have work schedules, life struggles, other obligations that come up. So I know that sometimes it was hard for some of them to get here on time or get here at all, or having some other traumatic event going on that they weren't really focused on what we were doing, and we had to redirect, and just I would meet with whoever it was at the end. But I personally, as the facilitator, I've had no, I know that's odd, but I have not had any any struggles with any of it. I don't.
I love that. Well, that's always great news when it hasn't been a struggle.
Yeah.
Were there ever, because sometimes I think from an organizational standpoint, I think sometimes leaders have to evaluate different priorities and say, okay, where are we going to put time and energy and things like that? Was that ever a consideration, or was that an easy decision to make as far as looking organizationally and saying, okay, we've got to be able to dedicate some resources here, mainly just time and staff? What about that? Was that a challenge, or was that an easy yes?
It was easy for me because I'm pretty healthy. I have a healthy balance, and I know that all this other stuff can wait a little bit longer while I do this for an hour, because it's only an hour a week. And there's no real preparation involved because it's all there right in front of you. You don't need to do anything but just, I bring snacks, but other than that, the value premise, it's right in front of you. You don't have to prepare, which is very unusual in our business. Usually there's a lot of prep work and facilitating things. So I would say that because we have a lot of turnover in our business, getting another staff person involved might be more difficult than it is for me to do it, just because of my schedule is a little more flexible than staff that supervise 70 clients at a time. So I don't think that's necessarily a situation that I'm struggling with right now. I know I'm trying to branch off into the other counties, and so that may be an issue because I can't be in all of them. And Tyler has offered to, help with facilitation and stuff like that in the other 2 counties that I cover. So that remains to be seen, really, at right now. So.
Sure. No, that's helpful. Well, that takes me to my next question is you've been doing this for a little bit. I'm not quite sure how long, but you've been doing it here in the Branson region, your area in Taney County. But obviously you just mentioned that you're trying to expand out to some other counties that you cover. So what does the future look like if you could wave your magic wand, if you will, or what's your vision or your dream for this in your area?
My vision is to have at least one transformation table going continuously in my 3 counties for a period of time, enough so that I can show my leadership in Jefferson City how much benefit it is providing, so that we can take it statewide, because it's that impactful. I want it to be in the prisons. I'm working on getting something started in a prison that's not too far from here, so that I can, help get it started at least. But we have a lot of people on supervision in the community and in the state. And so I just feel like we could spread this my goal. I can retire in January, which I'm not going to because I have this new lease on life. But I would love to see it just blossom throughout the whole state. I really need everybody to see the benefit. It's just amazing.
Yeah. So if you could put it into like 1 or 2 sentences, and maybe it's too hard to do that, but anyway, something along those lines. So I love that you're saying like there's beautiful benefit. And so as you are talking to people like in around your state, if you were saying like, what is that benefit that you want to see people that have been that are in the prison system, that are on supervision? What is that benefit that if they could all participate in this program, what do you think that would happen? What would be a positive outcome?
I just feel like, our improving lives for a safer community, it just fits into that, because I feel like when clients have pride in their communities and want to be involved and invested in their communities, that is improving their lives and everyone else's. And that's really our ultimate goal with the Department of Corrections. And so I just don't see why we can't just do that.
Well, I agree. Why can't we just do that? Yeah, absolutely. So do you have like maybe I know it's kind of like picking your children, but I'm going to ask you, do you have like maybe a favorite story of someone that has seen impact in their life that is out there and doing something that's received the benefit from going through this program, being part of these tables, and is now um contributing in this society and in the world around them?
So there are actually several, but I'm going to speak about Josh, I think, because he is so impressive. Like he even like he says things during these transformation tables that I write down because I'm like, oh my gosh, that was profound. And he has like this leadership within him. Sometimes you're just born with it. He has that. And like, this transformation tables has just given him the focus, I think, on specific values that he can just put forward. He spent almost a year in jail before he got placed on probation. He had a lot of time to think. When he got out, he got a job at Chick-fil-A. And then as we were going through the transformation tables, he is, getting promotions. He's in charge of the food trucks. And now he's, going to get another promotion soon. And he is just flourishing. And he took time off we got these certificates. He came to the graduation so that he could have his certificate to show to his employer, because it just says so much, especially anybody who knows John Maxwell and the leadership, stuff that he does. It just gives some more credibility to what he's doing and how serious he is about his leadership and his journey that he is going on right now, and that his offense does not define him at all. Like, you wouldn't even know that he was on supervision if you didn't know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. I just get goosebumps listening to his story. So thank you so much for being his voice right now and telling his story, because I know that he represents so many others, and his journey can be somebody else's journey as well. So thank you for sharing that. Oh my gosh, I feel like I could just let you talk about these stories all day long, but I know we do need to start wrapping up a little bit. But let me just ask you this question as a wrap up. If you could speak directly to another leader that is, maybe they have a position that's similar to yours, or maybe they're a business leader, or a governmental leader, or maybe an educator or something like that, that is looking around at some of the issues in their community, in their city, in their organization even, and they want to make a difference, what piece of advice would you give them?
I've been doing these transformation tables it's been a year now. I've done probably 10. And so what I've realized that has occurred to me is every time I do this, something else in the value of that week speaks to me and causes me to improve myself. It's all about, I feel like, self-improvement so that you can be a leader in your community. Every time I find something else to improve upon. Every week, you take a moment of self-reflection. If you're not moving forward, then you're moving backwards. And so to like this initiative, like last week we were doing the initiative value again. And I shared with the new students how I really want this Transformation Ozarks to spread throughout the state. But in order to do that, I have to overcome my adversity to be interviewed, for example. And so I'm just genuine about all of that. And so they said, well, you got to do it. You got to do it. And so I shared something that I didn't want to do because I knew that I would do it if I shared that. So every week, every time, every table, there is something that you see, you can't help but see that you can improve upon. Something different strikes you every single time you go through one of the values. It's different every time. You improve something every time. And even if you don't, you reflect on what you should have been doing that you promised that you would do you promised yourself last time, and you just didn't follow through with it. Just there's nothing but positivity that comes from this program.
Sounds like the piece of advice that you're encouraging people is to really take the time to improve themselves.
Yes.
I think as leaders and as transformational leaders, that focus on self and making sure that we are improving, because you can't give what you don't have.
Right.
Looking for all of those ways that we can continue to improve every day, every week. I know for myself, there's lots of ways that I can continue to improve. And in case I'm ever at a loss on things, I've got family that is really helpful to make sure that I see those areas I need to improve.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's a beautiful place to wrap up our conversation today. So thank you for sharing that advice. So now, transformational leaders, it's your turn. As transformational leaders, we don't want to just see problems, but we want to make sure that we're taking action. And so my challenge to you this week is to look for some ways that you can improve yourself. Let's take the advice that Laura shared with us and spend that reflection time and look for those areas that we can improve. And if you are curious about getting involved in a transformation table or maybe starting a transformational movement in your area, you can message me. I'm happy to get you connected. And if you happen to be in the Ozarks region, you can reach out to Transformation Ozarks, and that team will be happy to get you connected and your organization, and you can participate in tables just like Laura and some of the other people and the other clients that they're serving with the Department of Corrections in that area. So don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay inspired, equipped, and challenged to change the world around you. Thanks so much, everyone.